This man named Orlando does a common job at an IT center. But one of his secret specialty is that he is a hacking expert. But suddenly one day he falls into the trap of another hacker. And according to that hacker order, all the banks of America have to plan to hack him together. Even according to the condition, he does not have to do this whole work from his chair, because he will die when he gets out of the chair. So why or online do the hacker falls? Then how or he tries to hack all the banks of America together? And why or why not get out of that chair? I will know everything from this movie called Hot Seat, released in 2022. So let's get started. At the beginning of the movie, we see the scene of a quiet park where some people were doing workout and the kids were swinging. But then a man brought the car and took a package in his hand, and then pressed the car to his car. And another man pressed the remote in his hand. As a result, the man flew with the bomb blast set in his car. Here, the main character of the movie with others was Orlando Morning Walk. She was a little surprised to hear the sound of the explosion near the park. On land asks his wife team when he came home whether he heard the sound of an explosion. He said he had not heard any sound. However, the police car siren heard. Then Kim tells him that you will go to the office today. Today is the birthday of our daughter's win. It is very important to go to my office as Orlando in reply. And since I work at the IT center, there will be trouble in many places if I don't. Tim gets angry at hearing online and tells him that I didn't want to talk to you about this topic so soon. But when you are giving more importance to your daughter's birthday, it is not possible for me to be with you. I will go to my mother's house this time. Saying that Cream holds their divorced paper in the hands of Orlando, we see two police officers in the area of Sinshift and Jackson. They were sitting in the office, work at the office. Then another police came to them and told the park explosion. Just after hearing it, the Hart and Jackson come out. They saw the car that was bombed and the car that arrived in the park. The upper part is completely cold. Who says the Hart Jackson is not a simple sister? It looks like it's a military-grade bomb. This type of bomb is to give a lot of time to make, and the bomb that the blast has done it very closely through the remote controller. However, no one will just blouse the bomb in the park. Certainly he has a big plan. Meanwhile, Orlando was seen in a book in his house secretly put a pen drive. When he goes to work, he takes the pen drive with arriving at the office. He sat in his own locker and sat down. At that time, an old client called him by phone and his Wi-Fi was not working. On land also was unable to fix Wi-Fi even after the woman was instructing the woman. Then Orlando tells the woman about the shortcut and puts her server 1. Then log into its system and fix Wi-Fi. So when he was talking to that client online, his colleague NZ Wi-Fi hacked the NGO Orlando, asks, "How do you do this?" You don't understand the answer to Orlando. I do this from my experience. Listening to this, I can say NGOs, I can do magic. But even though you are not the magic of hacking like you, the kids are very happy to see my magic and land. Is also happy to hear that the NGO is magic, because his daughter Joy loved magic very much. NGOs have left Christmas gift for 2 of them in their boss office to speak opening a packet of gifts. Orlando sees 2 black balls inside. The NGO is a little upset to see this. He tells Orlando that this office can't stay long. The NGO was talking about their jobs when they were talking about the morning explosion news on their office TV. Seeing the picture of the man who died in the explosion, Orlando seems to know why I know this guy. Food delivery boy comes in the middle of talking about them. The NGO ordered food from the restaurant for his morning breakfast. He noticed that every day he gave him food today, someone else has come instead. And that delivery boy's behavior seems a little suspicious. Whatever NJ was receiving food online, he also noticed how strange his computer was doing. When he went to fix the computer, his wife Kim gave him a video call. King tells their daughter Joy to talk to his father. The victory comes in front of the screen and looks proud of his father, because his father went to work on his birthday day too, Orlando. Joy tells the gift he has given to him, and he says, "I have a magic handcraft. I will teach you a trick with it." In the middle of their speaking, the NGO dances behind the on-land. Arlen then introduces the NGO to Joy. Just finished talking to the fever, and Jota screamed with food, because the delivery has passed the sandwich from the boy. When he took a packet of food, he also forbade him to go down. She says boss checks all CCTV cameras. NGOs say it says you don't worry about it. My seat is in a place that is not easily seen. Besides, I also have a job on the floor below. On hearing the NGO, Anland also understands that he is going to meet a girl on his floor. She asks the NGO. Ivana said it was a mad girl this time. Then he goes out to change the sandwich. As soon as the NGO crosses, the online computer comes a message. There is someone who says you say goodbye to your daughter. She calls Orlando as a red knight and tells to catch a call. As soon as the Orlando call is received, their office's internet becomes low active. And a hacker speaks. He says, I set a bomb under your seat. If you try to get out of the seat now, you will die immediately. The only way to save you is to follow my words. On land, then see the mirror out of his drawer like hacker and actually set the bomb under his chair. She is scared to ask the hacker, what do you want? There is a bank on the 12th floor of your office because of the hacker in the north. I want you to hack that bank. Then I left the hacking long ago. The hacker gets angry at hearing this and says, I know what you can do. And I know everything about you. If you do not say me, your family will die along with you. It says hacker shows Anland's pictures of their divorce paper. Looking at this, Alan also understands that the hacker really knows about it. He then tells the hacker that the security of the bank is very high level. Within a minute and a half of the hack, they will catch me. I know you are a very good hacker to hear that, hacker. So you are one of it, so you can find a way to get it out. So like hacker, Anland was forced to hack the bank. The bank's system security officer becomes alert as soon as the hack is hacked, and the online disease tries to get out of the system. And then there is NGO's girlfriend, Ava is set on the bomb under my chair because Orlando warns Ava. Then Anland also got to hack the bank again, but he was never able to get along the bank system security. Since he is not able to get out of the chair himself, who brings pen from his locker. Then at the very last moment, he hacked the bank and removed the system security officer from the server. If the bank hacking is successful, the hacker begins to give Orlando to praise and tells him about a movie called Apocalypse. Now it looks like the hero of that movie. Meanwhile, after being scared to see everything, hacker gives threat to the hacker. He says, if you get out of here now, I'll kill you too. So forced to sit in a chair there, the hacker then asked Anland to transfer $2 million with a bank account. But Orlando says, I need a little time for it. So when the money gets into the transfer work online, the NGO comes there and is scared to see Ava. Now NGO is called a bomb set under the online site. The NGO is scared to hear this. And to get out of there, it is like crazy. Then everyone tried to stop the NGO, but he did not listen. When he gets up in the elevator becomes blast. And as a result, a large part of the elevator breaks down. On the other hand, when the police were talking about the park bombs, the news of the tower exploded. Tower, meanwhile, Ava is unconscious after being hit in the head and is on the floor. And if the Orlando hacker blames the NGO to kill the NGO, then I might have killed one or two as a hacker. But I can't even imagine the cause of the death of people you are. Then he shows a footage in online disease, where a man committed suicide by fire. Here is a big twist hiding that we will find out at the end of the movie. So the hacker tells Anlandu that since the police got the news, they will come within 15 minutes, because I bombed the park in the morning and tested it. It takes 15 minutes to come to the police, and the guy who died in the park is your hacker friend Victor. You needed to be punished for the big hacks you had done together. Anyway, the account I have given you now, transfer the money to that account. Hacker says, hacker, after transferring money to Onland, you tell hacker you have transferred money to your own account. And now, you have to do another job. You handle the IT sector of a company called Tempular Bone, where all the American banks have data deposited, and I basically need those data. On Land also says that the security system of Teamler Bond is protected with the 6-layer firewall, and to open the last layer, people need clearance from people. Even if all the layers are not opened in an hour, the system will automatically lock. You do your job as a hacker in reply. I'll see the rest. So try to massage the online and his wife in the work. But the hacker also sees it and gives him a threat. Nevertheless, a paper notes about hacker. Orlando returned the knowledge soon after the first firewall break. Then the lift caught fire in place of the elevator explosion. This time, he got up and went to the fire. Then the hacker tells Orlando that you have a handcuff behind you and give it to Ava. And Ava says you hold yourself in a corner with a handcuff. Ever also gives his phone with hand cave on the phone. The other, his wife, dial Kim's number. But fate is so bad that there is only 1% charge on the phone of Aloran. Meanwhile, Chemo left his phone in another room as he was at the party. So she doesn't see the call of Orlando's Sin Sift showed that the police had reached the scene. They cover the area below and plan among themselves. There, an officer named Hat was seen that he was dissatisfied for some reason. At the brief meeting of the police while everyone was talking about their positions together, there their chief officer comes. The chief comes and sends a spyper to keep an eye on Land from afar. She tells Reed and Jackson to leave the Orlando floor directly. And Toby tells him that he talks to the building manager like the chief. The police team divided and took their respective positions. Meanwhile, the hacker sends a photo on Lando and news TV channels. They continue to do news to others as the original criminal here. The house is shocked to see Orlando at home cream and winning news. They so quickly move towards the office. So when the written Jackson enter the office and off the CCTV, the hacker gives Orlando a note that you will wear live on television. In the land, there is a confession to the fault that he has never done. So when he refuses to confess, the hacker tells him that I set some bombs throughout the city that are made of natural material. That is, the police will not be able to find them even if they want. If you don't listen to me, I will blow your family with the rest. On Land then forced to call a news channel and I want to go live on your channel. On the other hand, when Kim and Joy reached the office, Jackson went out with Joy and the chief officer. Kim interrogated Kim about Orlando. I know Kim Chip. I know Orland is also a hacker. He has done a lot of hacking before. But since he won, he had changed a lot. I know how he is. He will never do it by himself. Surely someone else is doing this with him. And just then came to Orlando Live and read the script provided by the hacker. She says that the bomb blasts that have been blast this morning and the explosion in this building I am responsible for. Even a few years ago, I was responsible for the scam of the financial company named Orcastric. I'm ready for death. However, I have to set the bomb line with me. If you kill me, all the bombs will be blast together. So if I do not do what I want to do, I will flood blood throughout the city. Hacker tells his wife and daughter to SP, but immediately the hacker turns off the life. Then the hacker began to show anger over Anland to speak extra. But in Theland, it does not respond to it rather than to work, because an hour ended only 19 minutes left. Though it has made 4 fires, all the break is in it. Meanwhile, the police chips of the police hearing the last words of the land understand that others are not doing this by itself. But then the chip opens the Orcaustic company. He said that a few years ago, a large number of American companies in the United States were responsible for our nourishment. We were very happy that we didn't have any cost. But a few days later, we learned that the company has hacked several bank data with Orlando in the name of work. Even Online did not understand what he was hacking. And all the accounts in that bank were the poor and middle-class people. The Orcastric company looted all those banks, and the big politicians were involved with it. So many people have committed suicide in the pursuit of lack of everything. The chief officer then stopped everyone and said that before this, there was an attack in the 1966. So I don't want to take any risk. Now I will make all the decisions myself. Meanwhile, Anland also went to number 5 after the 4 all brakes could not move in any way. because the number 5 number is much more secured. She was losing the program again and again. The hacker looks angry at this. On the other hand, the fear was screaming. Stops them at online and say, I have to do this attack now. I will load all the network connections in the surrounding connection lines on their server. This will make the server weaken by becoming too much users' traffic. But the problem is that if the server's traffic increases, we will also increase the traffic here. So we need a network seal on land, then set a virtual seal on your computer and made for attack. However, Reed and Jackson then got into the building with the team. They reached the 10 floors to see with fiber camera in the Orlando room. There they see Ava and realize that the bomb set is also kept Ava as victim. Meanwhile, Toby came to Chip to tell Chip that the bomb hit signal was found on the Orlando floor on the 10th floor. Likewise, a hit signal is also available on the 4 floors of the building. I think there is something like that. And we could not find the manager of the building anywhere. Even his family does not know where he is. So after the chief's chief, the Reed team divided into 2. Britt alone monitors Orlando from the upper floor, and Jackson is associated with the rest of the 4 floors. He reaches the room to follow the signal where they are imagining the hacker. On land hacker also told the hacker that the police were coming to catch you, so you are ready. But the police broke the door and saw the building's manager's body. Interrupted the chair there. Even one of his eyes has been raised. It was then that Jackson noticed a time bomb set there. And just as they entered the room, the bomb was activated. Jackson is so out of all, but it is too late. So the entire police unit, including Jackson, died there by bomb blast. The police may have caught the hacker in the way hearing the sound of the bomb blast. But then the hacker spoke again. He says he should not have too much problem anymore. Launch the attack as soon as possible. Online then says, I'll launch the attack, but I have to promise that will then leave me. When the car promises quickly, the attack launch begins. Just then Reed gets there. Now Reed. Reed that is not a bad person. Someone is doing this with him. The hacker is talking about the end of the talk. He tells the heart, if you try to get a disturbance, then I will kill you, like Jackson. Hearing this, he gets out of the heart. Meanwhile, after hearing the explosion, Kim asked the chief officer to ask if anything happened to Kando. The chief does not respond to his words. He ordered to shoot in the nerve park. But then on red wireless, everyone tells everyone online, oh innocent. He should not be shot. Sniper's hand shakes the command of chief at the moment of shot and shot on land, then launched the DIS attack. After the attack was successful, I told hacker to tell hacker that I finished my work. Leave me now. But I have lied for so long to say hackers. There is no bomb anywhere in the city. Now there is only a bomb under your seat, which is not easily off. The hacker does not listen to him on the other land again in front of the computer. In fact, he sets the shell for himself while setting the shell of his computer. He hacked CCTV and repeated it. Now yes. Now the hacker will only see his previous footage again and again. Sitting in the chair goes to open the last lock of the hacker tamper bond. He uses the card and opens the initial password and uses the manager's eyes for retina scan that he had already opened. When he enters, he looks for all the bank's data. Meanwhile, the RIT then entered and opened the hand cap. Then he opened the bomb under the chair of the land. It was a sensitive bomb. That is no way to defy it. Then I told the hacker about the hacker as a hacker. Now you have no choice but to death. Only online is angry and hacked and locked the gate of the server room. The hacker somehow gets out of it at the last minute when the gate is locked. But no data can be brought along. He is also very angry for this. On the other hand, tell me my family I love them, and you get out of here as fast as you can. Saying this, Orlando pushes into the chair and falls through the already broken elevator. But the moment he fell, he grabbed a handle. As a result, the chair falls down, but nothing happens. Chief is afraid to hear the sound of the explosion again. However, Riet tells everyone with the signal that is online and survived. Kim and Joy breathe a sigh of relief when hearing about the survival of Orlando. Then they entered the building to meet online. An officer started to take them to the upper floor with them. On the other hand, when the chief officers were observing the Al-Render office on the recovery, they showed pictures of the NGO and questioned Orlando. Orlando says he was my colleague, but after that, the police saw various signs that the NGO was a fan of Apocalypse, nor movie. On Land then remembered the hacker repeatedly told this movie, and the NGO talked to him about this movie in the morning. She quickly seized the black ball on her desk and set the camera, mic, and radio transmitter in it. Seeing everything, Orlandona does not understand that Enjoy is basically the hacker. In fact, he went out to talk about changing the sandwich. And before blowing up with the elevator bomb, he himself went upstairs on the elevator. And since Ever had access to the bank, he played love with Ever and took his card. Meanwhile, Officer Sage Enjoy actually takes Kima Joy to the elevator. Seeing Anju in the elevator recognizes Joy. Because he saw him in the video call in the morning, Enzo then tells Joy, because today is your birthday, this birthday gift. That says he opened his bag and took out a vest in which the time bomb was set. On the other hand, online with information from the police and understand that Indra has taken them to the roof. He then ran to the roof. At that time, NG Joy was wearing that vest and waiting for the song. The NGO shot the officer with the Orlando Writ and another officer on the roof. However, the online writer immediately takes the cover. Fear of killing Joy. The NGO tells Orlando to come to gunpoint. He says you are responsible for all this. The banks you hacked to join hands with the Orcastric company were also deposited in my parents. My parents became helpless because of you. So I have been planning this for the past 2 years to catch you. But you have destroyed all the plans. Online and understand that the NGO is very angry. He then talks to him to spoil the focus of the NGO. The NGO shot the Writ before the Writ was shot at the NGO. And on this occasion, the victor escapes from the NGO. And immediately, Orlando took out the song and shot Enju. Mother, however, before he died, Enjoy took the remote out of his pocket and turned the timer on the winner. When the bomb was unable to open in on land, the Writ came there at the very last minute, and the bomber cuts it and says checkmate. Sin Change became the police when When he was praising him, he said that Reet saved everyone at the last minute. So that's what you tell journalists. He then left home with Online and his family. And through this scene, the movie ends here. If you like the movie, please like and comment. And with that, those who watched the first video of our channel today, subscribe to the channel and press the bell button.